Get it done. God dang it.
Yo, can you hear me?
What? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
My mic is jacked up. What? How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Hmm. I'm doing good. Trying to get something to eat before I start this shit. Um, on the I think on the party tab, it should have like a little thing where you put your do a little checkbox so you can put your
Yeah,
audio in
include
the video. Yeah.
yeah.
How's Mortal Kombat, bro? Or the Chaos?
So this is insane, and it's only for Xbox. But on Xbox, it forces you to re-download the whole game,
Oh.
and yeah, and on PlayStation, it just installs for them.
Yeah.
So I have to re-download the whole game and wait for that before I can play it. So
How
you know,
many gigabytes is it this time?
that's a good question. Let me check right now. Okay, so now the whole game. Right? It was 109 gigabytes just originally, and now it's 138.
Oh my god. That is a lot, bro.
Yeah, that's
Um,
like half the Series S, I think, almost.
I was gonna say, bro. Like I was gonna install it, reinstall it the other day, and then I looked at how much it was. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, right. You gotta be just worried. Yeah. I'm really excited to play this story. I just hope it's long. We'll see.
I can't remember how long. What was that? Mortal Kombat 11's DLC. That was like good. What? 2 hours? Maybe.
Yeah, it was like around 2 hours and 13 minutes. I watched it the other day, which is why I know. But yeah, I'm hoping this is longer. I mean, newer consoles, blah blah blah.
Right.
Price price tag is a little bit higher too, so I'm hoping it's longer, but we'll see.
That that price tag for that. Wow. That's a
Yeah.
that. I was like, that's a full game right there.
Exactly. They don't play around with this stuff. But I was like, the T1000, Ghostface. I was like, they always get me with the characters. I was like,
Yeah. I got.
dude.
My, are you talking shit about the trees, dear? I got Star Wars Outlaws on right now, and she's looking at the trees.
I'm on the last mission right now.
Are you?
Yeah,
Man,
probably I'll finish it up tonight.
I actually like the last mission. It's pretty fun. I still have issues with this game as far as
Oh, so you finished it?
yeah, I finished this. Yeah, I finished the story. I just which I took a break from it
Oh, okay.
because
Because yeah, there's so much side stuff.
yeah, there's that. That shit was. I told wifey, I was like, that shit is overwhelming. She's like, don't get overwhelmed. It's just a game. But I was like, yeah, it's a lot of side missions that pop up, and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
but that's the thing. The world is the open world is so big that it's like it is honestly it is overwhelming. And I thought it was the same thing and for some reason it's always the Star Wars games. Like I don't know if you play Jedi Survivor or not,
oh yeah, yeah,
but the world in that game is so big that even as much as I tried, I couldn't 100% it. There was too much to do. I was like, all
that
right.
I think yeah, it's like I want to get back to that one, but I know that's a big game to install as well. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I remember beating that and trying to get some of the achievements afterwards, and I'm like, never mind.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
been a while.
all these games are 200 gigabytes each, and you can't even have them installed at the same time.
Did you see that they canceled the preview or the previews for Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Yeah, I'm like I'm gonna play it, but I'm extremely worried because you know how people will start narratives, and I hate for them to be proven right.
Right,
Like for example, that's why I gave this game a chance.
right, right.
Outlaws, because of course they start on Twitter. They'll start a certain narrative. As soon as the game is revealed about blah blah blah, and it's even like it sucks because I'll tell my friends, all right, like I'm about to play this, like dude, why would you do that? Like I hate stuff like that. It's so like minimizes like your experience, like as a gamer. I hate stuff like that.
That's why I miss the times before social media because nobody can have an opinion about something without being attacked for it. And it's like, well, that's it's just like I'm all for it. Leave me alone. If you don't like it, fuck you. It's whatever. But
Right. It's like,
uh,
yeah, if you don't like it, don't make it my problem. Exactly.
right. So I mean, shit, bro. I like okay. I'm recording this right now. Fuck it. Like the Rocksteady Batman rumor. Uh,
Um,
yeah. What
I'm
are
gonna
your
be,
thoughts on
I'm
that?
gonna be, I'm gonna be brutally honest.
Tell me
Uh,
what's up.
yeah, cause I'm someone who, obviously I played a lot of Suicide Squad,
Right.
but if I'm being brutally honest, right, I think going back to a Batman game is the smartest thing that they can do.
Right.
And even though people are very, cause like there's a lot of Twitter talk,
Hmm.
but the thing is, right, if you make a game, which even though you don't play as them, if you make a game based around the Justice League in the title, and it fails, you need to go back to formula at that point because you're like, obviously the Justice League is DC's strong point.
Oh yeah. Bro.
So if you make a game around that, even not playing as them, and it doesn't do well, like it wouldn't make any sense to just go, all right, Green Lantern game. Because guess what? You can't have two failures in a row. No like that's not how companies work. The reason Rocksteady are where they are, right, is because they know what worked. So Arkham series successful. So obviously Warner Brothers is like, all right, we're gonna trust you now with this. That failed. So obviously they're like, okay, that failed. Back to formula, and here they go making the Batman game. So of course people are gonna be like, oh, give other teams a chance, blah blah blah, which makes sense, right? But they
Right.
need to earn back some of the $200 million that they just lost, and they
Uh,
know that making a Batman game will give them everything they'll give them their credibility back, respect, money, and they're hoping people will just forget Suicide Squad. That's how these things work.
that's the
So
thing. That's the thing about it is like uh that damn like when I think my wife that pretty much summed up whenever when we finished Suicide Squad and stuff like that. She's
mm,
like, "You're not on that. You're not on that game as much." I'm like, "Yeah," because I'm like, it was disappointing because it was done by the same people that did the Batman games, and
right,
you're right. This is their best thing that they can do because it'll get them in the good graces of the fans. But
right.
somebody had tweeted like, "Oh, um,
You
uh,
went the wrong way.
you know what? You could." Thank you, dear. No, it's like whatever you. Somebody posted the picture of the moment where Harley shoots
Hmm.
Batman. Talking about, I will never play a Rocksteady game because of this moment. I'm like, that's you. Go ahead. It's like
Yeah.
I'm still gonna play it.
Hmm.
Although I was hoping that they would try to. I mean, I would like for them to do some other superheroes, but it's like they have to. Oh Lord, I mean, they have
There's
other
also
studios. Like, I mean, the fact that Warner Brothers is open up to letting other studios do do like the other DC characters and all that. Good God, this is horrible. Um,
mm,
I'm glad that they're open to that because they need to do that a while back before just saying, oh, we'll do it now. No, y'all should have did that years ago. Um, but I can't. I am going as fast as I can do. Everybody, y'all hear my wife in the back. She is giving me
mm.
pointers on how to play this damn Star Wars Outlaws, even though you don't like it. But no, bro, like it's. Uh, I'm all for it, but I was hoping for what? I just know you don't.
Right. This is something this is a person like something personally that worries me.
Mm-hmm.
But even if, right, it's obvious now, and this was planned before, and it's tough because when the whole Batman stuff was happening and right, blah 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 blah, when Suicide Squad first came out, the initial outrage, right? We thought that maybe they thought that it wasn't going to be like that. But we skipped it today, and 90% of people have dropped the game, forget it exists, whatever, so they don't even know.
Right.
But for us who still play the game, we think about the fact that they're like, oh, they're bringing the Justice League back because they knew everyone was going to be upset.
Well,
And
that's the other thing too. The title said it pretty much killed the Justice League. We killed them.
right. And now they're bringing them back because they knew everyone was going to be upset. So
Right.
that's tough because now it divides the audience. Because when it first happened, the people who respected it were like, okay, at least the game is sticking to its title, right? And then there were the other half that were like, oh, I can't believe you actually did it. And now the
Mm-hmm.
people who were first defending the game, like, or at least it stuck to the title, now they're like, oh, you didn't. So
Like
it's like it just feels so like the game feels completely unnecessary at this point, you know?
I
And
think I think at this
it
point, bro, like everybody, I think everybody's gonna feel that way now because, I mean, when we play it, we just play. We do the missions or whatever to get the character, and then we beat the Brainiac, and then it's like, okay, let's play something else. That's how it is
yeah,
right now.
exactly. Mm,
So, uh, I'm trying. I just don't understand. Like, you have a really good point because it just does not make sense for us to for that game to do what it did. I had such high expectations. That was my problem. I put too high expectations on the game,
mm.
and then it turned out to be dis- disappointing. Um,
The thing is really unfortunately that it was because for us we grew up on Rocksteady. So as soon as you throw that attach that name to anything, right? Especially after Arkham, we're gonna be immediately like enthralled. So we were so like Rocksteady can do no wrong
right.
that no matter what, we were gonna be on the game side. And even now, I don't say I regret it. I still enjoyed the story, and even if I could go back to February, I still would buy the game.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's enough to enjoy, I think, and I've spent enough time to justify the price tag. But
Right.
in the future, if I knew if they were making another game like this, another live service game, I would avoid it at all costs. Just because I think we understand now that like not everybody is built to make this type of game.
Mm,
Even the company like Rocksteady, who we know can make a perfect or near perfect superhero game, single player game, this that. Even they are not equipped to like you know be able to make a game in any sort of genre, this and that, multiplayer, because they had so many issues with the servers, with
that
ports,
and it's
missions running.
oh,
Like
bro.
experience is
Uh,
so important, you know?
and that was the thing. Like every update You know this isn't because every time we had issues, every update that we had, we would have some sort of issue to where either one of us, it would only maybe two of us could play, but the third person couldn't jump in because it would go right back to the main menu.
You wouldn't have an issue
Yeah.
if you wouldn't acknowledge it.
That's right there. Actually, that's a very fair point. But yeah, but it's I don't know, like us happen to go back to the main menu or oh man, like when we got freeze, that like it was it was so jacked up. It was like moving like 90s PlayStation games. Like it was just kind of frozen, and the game kept going, but it was just frozen. I was like, okay, something is wrong with this game. Uh, but I mean, I enjoy the gameplay and the mechanics. The story is all right. I had like they killed the Justice League, okay, but it was just everything else as far as the missions and the oh god, bro, like I, when we get the new I know we were supposed to. Well, I guess we're getting another season episode or whatever, but it's gonna be the same shit. We're gonna have to do the same type of missions in order to get Zoe, and then have to beat Brainiac or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be the same type of missions, and you know what? Hush. Let me talk. Yeah, but we're tripping because they lost $200 million on that game, babe.
Yeah, bro.
It is, yeah, but it's like, oh, the kiddos are home. Yeah, they, hang on, let me open this door. Y'all go here, childrens. Uh, I like his haircut. Um,
Hi.
two,
Donuts.
over there, over there. Mc,
Hi.
McDonald's. Yes, a bunch of McDonald's. Yo, those drinks are in here. And I'll say back to the Rocksteady thing though, bro. Like I'm for it. They have to get in the good graces of fans. But I'm just hoping that they knock it out of the park. Somebody mentioned, hey, the original teams aren't with Rocksteady anymore, which is great. Which is, whatever. I know that's a concern, but people have to remember, Sefton Hill wrote Arkham Knight, and the only reason I say that is because how predictable it was to predict who Arkham Knight was in that damn game. Everybody knew before the game came out. That's Jason. Even before he took off his mask, he's like, "That's Jason."
Yeah.
So it's like I'm all for somebody else writing it. I know Sefton Hill is doing they're doing some game with their new development company. So, but it's like Sefton Hill. I mean, he did good with Asylum and City. That's because Paul Dini helped with that. But
hmm
I would rather. I'm hoping Rocksteady's like, okay, let's see if we can get another famous writer, comic book writer, to help us with the story. Because
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I mean, Sefton Hill. I don't know why he couldn't just go with somebody else to be the Arkham Knight instead of obviously Jason. But um, and did you even get hyped for like Concord?
No, I actually had no idea what it was until I heard that it was being shut down.
I did not. I don't know. I'm like, I remember hearing about it because I think it was on a state of play actually, and I mean, people were talking mess about it whenever it came out. Uh,
Yeah.
but it was like, I was like, oh, that's somebody's like, oh, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, I don't see it, but okay, but okay. But but I was like, okay, I remember that game had came out, and I was surprised to see that they were already deciding to shut it down after not even 2 weeks, like maybe like good 10 days. They had decided to shut it down, and they said it took 400 million to develop. I'm like, what the hell is going on? what?
That's
What?
crazy.
That is, and I think it took 8 years to develop. I'm like, that is ridiculous, bro. Um, I, it's like the gaming industry. I mean, like, did you get Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think of that?
So I wasn't huge on Spider-Man 2 just because I was so huge on the first one.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of gameplay, it was a gigantic step up, but story-wise and quality-wise, I felt it was a step down from the first game. So kind of mixed feelings.
It's that. Like I told a friend of mine, I said whenever Insomniac uh, put out that first game, they had to knock that shit out the park. Otherwise, if they wouldn't have knocked it out the park, we wouldn't have gotten Miles Morales or the second one. Um, but yeah, that first one goes hard. I love that first one. But yeah, it's like that gameplay. Like I agree with you, the gameplay is great. The story, I I I did not give two shits about Harry at all. I mean, I know that's his friend, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's whatever. Uh, but I mean, it's like that game. I forgot how much that cost to make. I think it was like at least, was it 100 mil, maybe? But I mean, you couldn't tell. I mean, all I saw was like they extended the city, and
Right.
but I don't know. I always thought that game. I heard that that was expensive to make, but I'm sure it made its money back. But I'm just not understanding what happened with Concord, and I mean Suicide Squad I get, but I just don't understand the whole thing with Concord. That was ridiculous. Hearing about 400 million to develop that game. That's a lot of freaking money. But what else was I was gonna ask? When's the last time you played Suicide Squad?
Oof. Ah. Well, yeah, whenever the season drops, there's no there's no reason to play it. That's the problem. Like
Right.
the battle pass, the rewards are not enticing enough for you to actually want to get on and complete them. You know,
Right.
the battle
Right.
pass is filled with certain things like emotes, blah blah blah, and costumes that are not visually appealing. Costumes that like Toyman, right? The
Yeah.
the first season costume was Wayne Tech, and they were actually decently cool. Deadshot
Right.
had a decently cool one. King Shark had a decently cool one. Okay, people are still playing. The Toyman costumes were awful. They made the characters dress up like for people who didn't play. They made the characters dress up in like these box outfits or whatever,
I think I
and it's like
yeah.
it's funny, I guess, but like for like a battle pass, it's they just don't scream skins that you we want to earn skins that are cool, you
Yeah.
know? If
Yeah.
it was something that they put in the shop that you had to pay for, it's a different story because they're funny skins. But nobody wants to grind to earn funny skins. We want to
Yeah.
grind to earn the cool skins. Why the battle pass, every battle pass is $10, you know?
And it's like
That's what I think.
it's if it's like like with me, I don't know. Like I mean, I play. I mean, well, I guess the last time I played is actually that last episode. That was it. But
Yeah.
that was actually a month ago. So I mean, it's like just the bro, like I don't like I've never really cared about the skins, to be honest. Like none of them really appealed to me. I mean, yeah, the Wayne Tech looked good. The Toyman shit, I overlooked that because it was garbage. But I mean, there's just like nothing like as far as like the battle pass that appealed to me. And God, bro, I mean, just so much wrong with this game. It's just why it's um like I don't personally I don't have a game of the year of this year just yet. But I mean, I've played several, and I thought Suicide Squad was going to be a great game until we actually got our hands on it, and then we had all these issues. So, uh, but yeah, bro, like I haven't played it in a month, and it's like I'll the only time I'll go back to it is when a new episode will pop up, and then that's it. It's like I don't even care about the fact that what villains are associated with certain weapons. Like I mean, it was a hit with me in the beginning because I had Bane and Scarecrow or whatever. That was cool, and then it was like, okay, this is that's it. So, like, I mean, when my wife notices that I'm not playing a certain game, and she knows what universe it's from, she's because she knows she knew that it was a Arkhamverse game, and then
Right.
she's like, so you're not playing that game? I said, no, I have. She's like, what's wrong with that? It's like a lot, dear, a lot. Um, I said I don't. I was like it, and I mean, then you hear the behind the scenes stuff, the toxic positivity crap. Apparently, like I mean, and I thought it was all Warner Brothers, when it was actually the main people, like the management at Rocksteady, and I was like, that's something else. And then you abandon ship when the game comes out, or before the
Yeah.
game comes out. You decide to abandon ship and let these people deal with all the backlash and stuff.
It's so insane.
Yeah, bro. And I was like, wow. Like I lost a tremendous amount of respect for Septon and Jamie because they should at least stayed with the team before they went off. But they knew ahead of time this shit's going to suck. They and it's like and you know I was but whenever before this game came out, bro, like we had a hype train that was more fun than the game. Like getting everybody
Yep.
hyped up for the game, like, and I was like, why is that? Why that's just crazy that it was. We were on that
And
hype
I,
train.
I would argue that you were the leader of that. Because
Yes,
I wasn't
yes,
I wasn't convinced to get the game until I saw your tweets, and that was before I even followed you.
bro. Like because I had played the beta, uh, and I was like, I was suspicious too until I played the beta. I was like, oh shit, this gonna be good. Not knowing that most of the missions that we did in that little bit of the beta was the same shit that we had to do the rest of the game. Most of it. And okay, like the Batman experience. Best part of the game. And then we had the boss fight with Batman, which it's like I remember.
Oh,
Yes. Like that's the thing, but it's like okay, so I'm a friend of mine. Like he's been asking about Suicide Squad. He's like, hey, bro, how's that Suicide Squad game? Like, what happens and all that? I'm like, I told him, and I said I will show you what happens during the boss fight for Batman. He's like, oh, it's gonna be great. I'm like, okay. And he looks at, he's like, that's it? Y'all just shoot him? I said, that's it. That's all we do with any of the damn boss fights. I said the Flash boss fight is probably the best one, but you're still shooting him. So it's. I told him. I said. He's like, so don't buy it. I said, do not buy it.
yeah.
I said, if you wanna if you don't want to experience this, do not buy it. I said it takes place in the Archiverse, but a lot of us are starting to not acknowledge it. But it's
Mm.
whatever. Yeah, that's the part, grows like.
Because like here's the thing, right? For the next Batman game taking place in like an art in obviously the next Rocksteady game like they haven't said it, but it's gonna be an Arkham game, obviously.
Right.
That's really like weird because we're in a place right now with Suicide Squad where in season 4, which is the season after the next one, they're gonna rescue Batman, right? And season 5 if they're allowed to get there
Mm-hmm.
is going to be the conclusion of everything because they're going to rescue Superman and then wake up the Justice League. So that's going to be the conclusion of the game. But if we get to season 4, which will be around the 1 year anniversary of the game, and when their contract ends, right? Because they had a 1 year contract to do 4 to 5 seasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
When that ends, and this is a possibility, if they don't let them do the season 5, we're going to be left with Batman, Flash, Green Lantern, and Superman saved, and they're gonna be put in the stasis pods that we see the Flash in.
Mm-hmm.
And if they cut support, that's it. We're not gonna know how it ends. The game is gonna end, and we're just gonna see all the Justice League members in their pods, and we're supposed to restore them, but we'll never get to see it. And that would be the worst thing ever because that means that we actually won't get to see how like Kevin Conroy's final performance because he obviously you see the guy who recorded Flash did his post game dialogue, which
Yeah.
means Kevin did too. When we rescue Batman in season 4, he's gonna have dialogue. It's not gonna be that much, but those are Kevin's actual last lines. And if Warner Brothers cut ties and doesn't let them finish the game, we just won't hear them. It'll be lost media, and that's heartbreaking for me.
That is
And
too for me. Yeah.
In the Arkham series, right? Even if they want to continue it with Kevin's Batman after this game, we're gonna need to know that he's okay, right?
That
Even if they were gonna
yeah.
replace the actor, we're gonna need to know that's okay. And if they let them finish the game, then we're gonna know that. But if they just cut ties, right? And the
Yeah.
last we see of the Arkham Batman is just that he's somewhere in this Hall of Justice. It's how do you continue it?
That's
There's no
it's
ending.
that's like if I don't know how the fuck they gonna do that, man. Like
It's such yeah.
it's like okay, so so we save them, and then maybe after that they beat Brainiac or whatever, and but it's like, are y'all gonna do like some sort of Batman Beyond shit? Like like Arkham Batman's okay, he just gets older, and y'all do like a Batman Beyond thing, or y'all gonna do like a game on like Robin, Nightwing, whoever. I mean, what are y'all gonna do? That was that that's that. Now that you saying that, man, I was like, okay, what are y'all gonna do with this? Like, are y'all gonna actually let them finish the story, so that way we don't go into this next Batman game like, what the fuck? So,
Hmm.
man, yeah, like that. I guess that I never really thought about that, bro. Shit, I never really thought about that. But it does leave me. It has me concerned. But we just have to wait to see what happens and what they're gonna do. But man, come here, boy. Hey, boy. Okay, okay. Come on, come on, come on. Uh, I don't know, bro. But that game ain't coming out for another good 3 to 5 years.
Yep.
Three.
And yeah, it's just I'm just very worried because for me, like as someone who has been playing Arkham games since I was 6,
Mm-hmm.
if 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 we know that Kevin Conroy recorded post game dialogue and we don't get to hear it and didn't do well,
Yeah.
that's 100% on Rocksteady's part. Because I mean, at the end of the day, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know, of course they didn't know anything was gonna happen, but they chose to go the route of, okay, live service, we're gonna do this in seasons, right? Because
Er,
the game obviously could have flopped. They don't know that. We're gonna do this in seasons,
I'm eating.
and we're gonna hold everything. So if there's cut content like that, especially something that's now so valuable, that really hurts. That really hurts.
And
As a fan.
the thing about it is like, you like, with me, like the history I have with Kevin Conroy's Batman, that goes back to 92.
Too, right?
Yes, 92. So I was 5 whenever those cartoons first came on. So it's like I'm old enough to to remember when them cartoons came on, and the fact that how long? Well, how long was it? It was like actually 20 years later, I ended up meeting the dude at a
Yeah.
Comic-Con in Dallas. So it's like sweetest dude like you ever meet. Like which my wife can brag about this. Um, it was her birthday weekend. She it would I don't know, our first time going to that Comic Con, it wasn't all that great. But I had whispered to Kevin, I said, my girlfriend's birthday's today. Is there any way you could sing happy birthday to her, make her day? And he's like, oh yeah, sure, sure. And he sang happy birthday to her, and it made her fucking weekend. I know it made her weekend because we were just cheesing it up. We just smiling about it. But yeah, he's very important to me. He's my favorite Batman, and I would love. I really want to hear his last performance. I mean,
Yeah,
I saw the Crisis on Infinite Earths with him and Hamill, but
yeah.
it's like I have to see this. I mean, I have to hear him
That
in that.
exactly. Like at the end of the day, that's just a cameo. You
Yeah,
know, like
right.
we went through 4 games with this Batman,
Hmm.
and I think personally that it's very fitting that like his actual last recorded lines are with that version of the character,
Hmm.
because obviously the animated series is everything, but to the Arkham fans, like when I think of Kevin Conroy's Batman, personally, I think of Arkham Batman.
Oh, that.
So it's like I think it's very fitting that his last actual performance is with that version of the character. And if you're telling me that we're not gonna get to see it, but it exists, like that is ridiculous.
And somebody better
And
leak that shit. My God.
right, like, come on, man.
Like y'all, and I mean, nowadays we're getting a lot of leaks. There is, I mean, if we
It
don't get
just
it,
makes me it just makes me wish that the game came out not as live service and an actual story that had a beginning and an end right there. Because then there would be no problems. If if the first half was Kill the Justice League and the second half, which is what the seasons are giving us now,
yeah,
was what we're getting now, the game would have been received so much better. Even though obviously, yes, it's like it's very like it says kill the Justice League, but we saved them. But that's what they're doing anyway. So if
yeah.
that had happened in the base story, it would have been received 10 times better.
That was the issue I had too, bro. Like I really, I mean, that was the like you knew the live service part was whenever Brainiac said like 15 Brainiacs. I'm like, ah, shit. But it's like they should have, like you said, had just did the base story because
Yeah.
if Septon and Jamie knew that this game was not going to be a success or whatever, then they should have done this ahead of time and just went with the base story. Don't do no extra shit. Just do that. If you have
Right. I really
DLC, then yeah, go ahead. But I mean, it's like give us. We That's the thing about it. It's like when you finish the first, like being the first Brainiac, the original Brainiac.
mhm.
If it was just that, then I would be pissed because it was like, what the hell? Like, why are we? Hey, son. Why would you just end it on that note? Did you what? Did you did you eat your meal? Good. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like even if what really makes no sense to me
Mhm.
is like even if, right, you wanted to save, it was so easy. It's so easy because obviously 13 seasons would equate to about 3 years. So if the game was extremely successful, they would give it three years, right?
Yeah.
So that's the 13 Brainiacs. Makes
Right.
sense.
Right.
So with that being said, it would have made sense if the DLC had just been new characters and new Brainiacs, but they didn't need none of the all of the Justice League stuff that's happening should have happened in the base game.
R-
That's my huge problem, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think obviously everyone who plays the campaign when it came out in February, everyone, and when that was huge, right, for the first 2 months, right?
Right.
If that's when the story should be resolved. You're telling me that we start the story and we're getting attached to the characters, blah blah. All that happens then, and you want us to come. You expect everybody to come back a year later,
To this shit.
and now we're like,
Yeah.
okay, now the whole league. No one's gonna care by then. Everything Justice League wise
Yeah.
should have happened, should have started and finished in the base story.
Oh
And
yeah.
for the people who decide, oh, I love this game, guess what? Every few months, you're gonna get a new character and a new Brainiac. That would have made much more sense than holding the Justice League story elements. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know whose idea that was, but come on, man.
Man,
It's like,
it's something else here. Hey, Big Bubba, what's up? Come here. What's up?
Why you on just bed?
Because I'm talking with my friend real quick. I'm finna come downstairs. Don't eat my burger. Don't you eat my burger.
Dad,
Huh?
he just ate your pet hamburger.
He ate my hamburger.
Yes.
The little shit ate my burger.
Yes.
Is it all gone? Is it all gone?
Yes.
Jensen! Well, I'm not that hungry anyway. As long as he ate. I ate my fries. In a minute, I'll get you some cereal. You ate a double quarter pounder! Okay. The child ate my damn burger. Ain't that a bitch? So yeah, but like, okay. There was one part of the story. Like, okay, I don't think Batman would have joined so easily the Justice League.
Yeah.
I still believe that he would have probably. Oh man. I don't know. Could have seen like watched this from afar and observed the shit, and then maybe when
The
he's
Arkham fans knew how much that was BS because we
bro.
immediately are like, hold on. The Batman that told Robin to go away when he tried to save him in Arkham City, the Batman in Arkham Knight who told Nightwing go back to Bloodhaven. Like this Batman, even though he has a family,
Yeah,
is so afraid of losing them that he would prefer, if he can, to do everything alone. And the whole point of Night and City and Robin and Nightwing and Oracle is for these characters to be like, hey, Bruce, you can't, right? And he gets it in his head that at the end of the story that he can't do it all alone, right?
yeah.
This same Batman would never, 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 ever, ever see Superman come down from Earth and be like, I like this guy. That is so inaccurate to this version of the character that when I first saw it, I was just like, are they joking? Like, Rocksteady made the game. Like, uh, what? It made no
I'm
sense
just
to
I'm
me.
just gonna say what you're thinking. That shit was lazy. Like what?
Stupid.
Like you're not gonna sit there and okay, look here. This is the Batman we know and how I think it should have been done. Okay, Batman would have observed this shit from afar, wouldn't have come out of hiding until it got to a point where maybe he did see Superman, like destroying stuff or whatever. Then he would have probably popped up and came out of hiding to maybe help Waller and the squad, you know, do that. But I mean, that's the only way I could see him coming in. I don't think he would join the Justice League because
Yeah, he wouldn't.
he would be as he says in the cartoon, a part timer. So I
Yeah,
mean,
no, I think, or like the whole like him like coming out of hiding or whatever,
yeah,
just to him coming out of hiding to join them is so uncharacteristic
that
and this
that part, bro.
absolutely destroys the ending of Arkham Knight.
That's what
Why like
and the friend of mine that asked about Suicide Squad when I told him about that he's like so this completely destroys the ending tonight. He's like
yeah.
it doesn't make any sense if he's gonna come out and everything. I said yeah, that's the point. They shouldn't have done it this way. But I said I said lazy writing.
Lazy writing. But it's sad because it's like they're so ready
Oh yeah, they're ready.
to they're so ready to absolutely exterminate, right?
Hmm.
Their legacy. Like Arkham Knight is one of the biggest superhero games of all time, like top three. Like even today, just for graphics and gameplay
It
alone, people still
the
bring it up.
graphics
It's one,
hold up.
yeah, one of the biggest games ever, and they were so ready
Uh,
to like absolutely tarnish the ending, blah blah blah, just so they could do this.
that
And it like that hurts, man. That's why it's like you hear Rocksteady's making a new game, and you're like,
that's yeah
like
that's exact. Like I was like I wasn't. Yeah, usually if I heard that they were making another Batman game, whatever, I'd be like, oh, that's great, yeah, exciting. Whenever I heard about it yesterday, I was like, okay, because it's like, it's like I hate to be that way, but it's like, y'all. I mean, I know it's not the same exact team from the first three games, uh,
yeah,
and I mean, that's like because I know certain members are still there, but not the main ones that were there for the other three games. Uh,
Exactly.
what
If you
I'm
had told me
Yeah, go ahead.
that it was Warner Bros. Montreal, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously they're making. If Arkham Shadow was a console game, I'd be jumping up and down right now
Oh,
because
bro,
there's
that
three things. Number one, it's not like it makes sense because he voiced a younger version of Arkham
of
Batman
yeah,
already in
yeah,
Origins, and it was perfect. So
yeah.
it's like, okay, you're not touching Kevin's version, which is great.
Right,
So I'm like, okay, great. Second place, they never established how many years between Origins and Asylum. So it's like, oh my God, you can do this.
right.
Like you can actually do this and it makes sense, right? And in fact, it can explain some characters how they got there from Origins to Asylum, like Harley, this and that and that. It's perfect. And then they hit you with the VR thing and you're like, damn. So
That
like
man.
that game would be absolutely perfect right now if they wanted to make an Arkham game. But now it says they're making a new one. What the hell is this? Wh- What is this new what are they gonna do? Because it feels like Arkham Origins 2, which
But
always had like
but
which always could have been a thing, is now
yeah,
Shadow and
yeah.
is that. So it's like a new game. What
So
are they doing?
what are yeah? It's like so. What are we? I mean, I like that right there makes sense as far as the story is concerned. We're just like me and you. We're like trying to wrestle with the thought of what they're gonna do for the Rocksteady game. I
Right.
mean, for Shadow, like I talked to my boy who does the Arkham videos. He's excited about it.
Mm,
He's really excited about it, and uh I know like talking with him about Arkham or no the Suicide Squad game. Like he's had his issues with it too, but I think he remains enthusiastic about the future of Arkham. He's like, I mean, hopefully, they'll, jump back and do something, get back to the Batman games or something like that. I'm like, I hope so, cause they need to do something. This this shit right here is not working. Um, but Arkham Shadow, like I've been following it, and I mean, I'm not. I mean, I'm not buying no VR set just for one game. As much, even though I
yeah.
would love to play that game. But I mean, like that would if I were to buy one, I would. I mean, I would buy that game first of all. Uh, but I like the fact that they added. Okay, they got Harley and they got Scarecrow and they got Ratcatcher.
Hmm.
But the fact
Right.
that they got what is it? Lock up from the damn anime series is in this game. I'm surprised they even have him in the game. I said this damn. I feel like the Arkhamverse is just a game version of the anime series at this point because so much. Go get your serum. Go get your serum. But yeah, bro. Like I mean, the fact whenever I seen the combat in that game. I seen the whole. I'm like when you're doing silent takedowns and stuff. I said okay, okay, I'm with it. Like, but the fact that it's VR. I I'm not too. I'm not big on VR like that, but I'm hoping that this game does good. And it's like
Yeah.
I feel like if it's successful, if it's successful,
I get milk.
you get the milk. Yeah, if the game is successful, this will be a good lead in when it comes to the next Arkham game. So, but I mean, what I don't like Warner Brothers Montreal is working on something too. I just don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I mean, over,
It's just like
oh, overall
it
the
feels.
overall like
No.
okay,
Help me.
yeah, you ain't don't need help. You have the PlayStation to play. You have the PlayStation.
It feels to me. It just feels to me like
Stop.
if if WB Montreal, and it really sucks now that what is essentially Arkham Origins 2 is going to happen on a VR, because that I feel like this likely means that the Rocksteady game is supposed to take place after Night and after Suicide Squad,
Hmm.
which is just so worrying to me. Like, because
That's
you're losing Kevin, right, as this version of Batman,
Yeah.
and that's very scary because he throws the entire the entire performances are thrown on his back. Like even Knight, which everyone agrees doesn't have the strongest story,
Yeah.
is still held together by Kevin Conroy. And now you're getting someone new to carry this version that has, you know,
It's a
thrown
50.
in four of the greatest superhero games of all time. So you're losing Kevin Conroy and you're losing half of your team that made those games as well. This is scary. This
Yeah.
is very scary.
I'm just hoping. I mean, they have. Oh, that's the other thing. There's no Joker. There's no
Right.
Joker. There's no
Lose
Joker.
Mark Hamill as well because even if you want to bring him back in any sense, Mark Hamill said no. Kevin Conroy, I'm not doing it. So you lose Kevin, you lose Mark Hamill too.
You are.
This is
Yeah.
worrying.
He is done. There is no more Mark Hamill as Joker, which is, I mean, ugh, that's my definitive
Yeah.
Batman and Joker as it is. But it's just,
Same.
I mean, which I get it. I mean, I get it because I mean that was his friend, that was his brother.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's the best. I think it's really poetic that he ends it like that because,
oh yeah, bro.
you know,
Yeah, man.
I think it's really poetic.
I understand. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it either if my good friend that I've been doing this with for over 30 years is
Right.
gone. So I get that. I mean, oh, like I told somebody the other day. I said that's the standard for me. Kevin
Yeah.
and Mark. Like, I mean, we have great live action versions of Joker and Batman, but it's like they just do not. They cannot top them.
That type of like brotherhood
Yeah.
has never been seen, because no Batman and Joker have ever worked together for that long. No Batman and Joker have even worked together for 10 years, let alone 30.
Right.
So
Right,
it's like
man.
I think Mark made a really mature decision because they'll throw any amount of money at him for him to play Joker.
Oh
And for
yeah.
him to turn it down because he misses his brother is so like it's heartwarming. So
Yeah.
it's like Arkham wise, I'm really glad that it ends with Knight because you see Batman throw Joker in a cage and in
Oh,
his mind and let him go.
that's
So it's
that.
really like
That takes on a whole different meaning now.
right.
God dang, man.
So it's really scary to me to continue the Arkham universe after Knight. Even Suicide Squad honestly was a bad idea. Like
Okay, so
the
over
universe should have
what
ended.
is your overall rating on Suicide Squad? Like out of 5, what is your overall rating?
Uh, I think it's a 3.
I
And
agree. Mm-hmm.
out of 10, out of 10, it's a 6. There's a lot lacking.
Mm-hmm.
Decently, it's a decent game. It's a decent game
Yeah, it's a,
with a lot of issues. Like I would say it's if it was a test, you're barely passing. There's enough there, and there's enough of a story to get you through the game. But it's a live service game, which is where the problems
and
lie.
and
You
you
know,
know
we
what's
can't just judge you on the story.
and that's what's crazy. Like I've played. Okay, would you say Mortal Kombat is technically live service now? Since we
Here's
got
the
a
thing
yeah.
with Mortal Kombat, and this is really interesting. Mortal Kombat had issues this game because people feel like the true version of the game released like today, right? Because they had to fix brutalities. They added a second version of the story, this and that. Like a lot of people felt like they were given an unfinished product
My God.
at start.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like Suicide Squad had the same issue. So it feels like there's an internal problem at Warner Brothers. Why are we forcing these games to release before they're ready? Like, are we that money hungry that we're gonna sacrifice quality for money? Why are we releasing a Mortal Kombat game before it's ready?
That's and I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I prefer Mortal Kombat 11 over one
Hmm. A lot
because
of people do. Content
was
wise,
I
there's
think it
there's
was
10 times more.
yeah, that's true too. But it was like with me, I don't. I mean, I played that shit, no lie, every day. I played it every day, and I got Mortal Kombat One, and like it's a beautiful game. I love the gameplay mechanics, obviously. Um, I just don't know. Something's not hitting with me on that game. I just don't understand. I don't know what it is, but I mean, the last time I played is when you whooped my ass on there. But I was
Well,
like,
that's the thing.
I was like, yeah, I was like, I got to get some training in because my little bro kicking my ass here. But but I haven't really played it in a while, and it's like I've been wanting to because of the new characters. I got to get whenever T1000 come out. Shit,
Yeah,
oh my
that like
god,
it's not as it's not as complete as MK11 where you
uh,
turn it on you turn it on and you're just like you
really?
know there's quality like maybe gameplay is more polished,
Yeah.
but in terms of actual stuff to do in the game there's less stuff and it's very noticeable as soon as you finish the story.
Mm.
So even as me who uh, uh I love the gameplay, I noticed that customization is not as
Not as
as
good,
good
not
as
as much as
MK11.
yeah. Like I mean,
Yeah, like, you know,
I
the game. You look at the game and you're like, this is unfinished.
did you
Like,
was your what was your first Mortal Kombat game?
9.
Okay, not, yeah, that same year as Arkham City. Okay, so
Yeah. So
yeah,
2011 was the greatest year of all time for me. I was 8 years
man,
old. I
what
had
a
Arkham City and I had Mortal Kombat 9. So I was just, it was the greatest thing ever for me.
uh, yeah, yeah, that particular year is monumental to me as well personally. I mean, this is showing my age. The first Mortal Kombat I played was oh my god, man. Yeah, it was actually the the original Mortal Kombat in the arcade, bruh.
Oh my gosh.
And this is the thing about the trips me out. It's like my mom, because my first Super Nintendo game that I had was Mortal Kombat 2, and I was surprised that I even
Yeah.
get that, because of how it was all violent and shit. My mother knew it wasn't going to affect me, so she bought it for me anyway. But yeah, like back in the day, like in the old Walmart, I played the first Mortal Kombat at in the arcade, and then yeah, I mean I was a Street Fighter fan before I was Mortal Kombat, but god dang it, man, I remember going to the arcades back in the day, bruh, and people be lined up to play Mortal Kombat. That's how fucking amazing that game was back in the day. But
Yeah.
um, I mean, I feel like I've played almost all of the Mortal Kombat games except for Special Forces and Sub Zero. Um,
Yeah. Like some of the really obscure ones I haven't played.
yeah,
But it's just like
like
even the thing is when like even when NetherRealm Studios, which is the people who make the Mortal Kombat games,
right.
release a game that is unfinished, right?
Mm-hmm.
They still sell 5 million copies, right?
Right.
Which it has to this day, and make a successful game that gets expansions and stories and will no doubt whenever they want get a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
For Rocksteady, right? Who have made these games that are far more advanced to make in the Arkham games, which are far more advanced to make than like a 2D like simple stage like whatever. If they can make something like successful, it's like a problem on your end, like something you have to like if you want to put $200 million into something and you're like it's gonna be open world,
Mm-hmm.
it's such a gigantic risk that you're risking your entire company like if
And
you fail.
hence
Versus
layoffs.
yeah,
God, man.
so
Yeah,
it's like
man. I mean, I feel like a lot of that is Warner Brothers and the pressure that they put on the developers too. Uh, I mean, Mortal Kombat 11 was successful, I know, and of course Arkham
yeah,
Knight was successful. But that damn game
yeah,
is 9 years old. That is a 9-year-old game, but looks like it came out
Yeah.
today. But
Hmm.
uh, it's like, I mean, I mean, I really don't understand the pressure that that game developers go through. But I mean, I'm sure it's a hell of a lot because
Right.
you have to top the last game that you did. You have to top
Yeah.
it. But obviously, it doesn't always work out that way because hence what they're going through right now with Suicide Squad, and then which I guess that was my issue with Mortal Kombat 1 was
Hmm.
the lack of stuff to do aside from just doing regular combat, online combat.
Right.
But
And
yeah,
I'm
bro.
happy. I'm happy to say that that's something that now, right, because the game was originally successful, that they're able to do. Because they just brought back. I don't know if you saw it, but they brought back today, and it's free. The Towers of Time for Mortal Kombat 11,
Oh yeah,
which, yeah. So at
yeah.
least, like, that's great. Now they're starting to work on content. But it took. You see how it took them a year because the game was unfinished. So
So
it's like
what? Okay, so would you think who? I mean, who would rush that shit in? Would that be a Warner Brothers
Warner
thing?
Brothers.
Warner
That's
Brothers,
the
like
see. That's the
fucking money,
problem.
money
It's like
hungry.
they're so money hungry, and it's affecting every product they make. And this ties back to Suicide Squad and the new Batman game because obviously Suicide Squad having a bazillion microtransactions is not Rocksteady. Rocksteady makes four games where the only microtransactions are DLC.
Right.
Every Batman costume is free. If Arkham Knight comes out today, guess what? You're paying for the Dark Knight skin. You're paying $10 for it. That's the difference.
Which
If
I
the
remember.
you're paying $10 for the Pattinson skin, the Affleck skin, that's the difference.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
it's
like
crazy
you
because I I would say yeah, the movie suits were free, but I think
yeah,
certain suits were not free. They were part of packs that you had to buy. Uh,
right,
which I mean, I bought the season pass, so I didn't have to pay shit. But
right.
I was I don't like that was the one time I was like I already know I'm buying the season pass because I paid a lot of money for that collector's edition.
Right.
But yeah, like bro, hell, the worst that I've heard when it comes to a Warner Brothers game was that Middle Earth Shadow of War, the Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings game. I heard that was fucking horrible as far as the transactions and stuff. Because there was so many unnecessary things that you had to buy or what they put up for DLC or whatever. But I heard that was bad. Um, Over time, it's getting worse, obviously, because you like years like okay, like literally at least a decade ago, y'all released these high quality games. You have in 1 year Mortal Kombat 9 and Arkham City in the same year.
Yeah.
Um, and you're
Exactly. And
and
like they were perfect.
and yes, it is
And
like you. I mean, like we had. Let me think. When you get Arkham City, they had the Catwoman DLC, and then they had the. Well, that's. I mean, that is if you wanted to buy it, and the Iceberg Lounge DLC if
yeah,
you wanted
and
to buy.
Robin. They
And
had
Robin,
Robin
that's
and
right.
Night Robin and Nightwing.
That's right.
Like there was so much. And it's
You,
like now if with the Arkham game that's coming up, which we know is going to be single player because you're going back to Visions,
yeah.
is Warner Brothers gonna make them charge people for skins? Because this is how you destroy a game.
This is how you try to destroy a
Even
damn franchise.
outside,
God dang it, man.
exactly. So you're telling me, and this is a very, very possible like future that we're looking at here, that we're gonna have these four games where we can open it up and we have 40 skins that are
Hmm.
available to us just from pre-ordering this and that, blah blah blah, to now having skins that we can look at in a store
Hmm.
and that we have to spend $10 each to get them. That people will hate the game. People will hate no matter how good it is. There will
What?
be YouTubers who they're
Oh
YouTubers and
Lord,
people on
man.
Twitter
You got the
who are
negative
whose job
influences. God dang it. Ugh,
exactly
man,
whose
like
job is hey, don't buy this because they're scamming you.
Yeah.
And if that happens to the franchise that's most important for me, it might just break me.
That's
I
and
might lose.
that's
I
the
might. I
thing.
might lose it.
Like you, the Batman Arkham franchise is my favorite game franchise of all time, and that's coming from me like 30 years of gaming. Um,
Yeah.
that's because when Asylum came out, like we had mediocre to somewhat good Batman games or downright horrible Batman games, but at that
Mhm.
time the best Batman game was either Vengeance or I would say Batman Begins, the movie tie-in movie or tie-in game. But when that game came out, like, bruh, because uh, I just remember like I think where did I stop? My first stopping point because I had to stop for the night. One night it was after I got outside of the out of the intensive treatment. After I got out of there
Mhm.
and I got outside and we see the mansion and the gardens, that's where I
Right.
stopped. And whenever that particular part had happened, I'm like okay, we're in for a fucking hell of a journey here. So I'm stopping. So whenever I stopped that day, I was like, okay, they have done something that I didn't think that could be done. We have a really really good Batman game here. Um, but yeah, bro, I mean, you're right. I'm look like the as far as the Rocksteady like Batman game that the rumor, if they're doing it, that's great. I really hope it does well. But what you just said about the microtransactions, as far as this game, really feel like that shit's gonna happen, bro.
Yeah.
I really, because I don't think this is a Rocksteady thing. This is a Warner Brothers thing.
Warner Brothers thing.
Because I mean, I, and it's like, and I love Warner Brothers movies and then some of the games, but it's like, there's more, the more that time goes on, everybody notices, all they care about is fucking money.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, man, y'all, we need, y'all need to come back to reality and give us this high quality games that we know that they're capable of. But it's like I don't know if they don't listen to the fans, and then that's the thing about it because I see fans complain every day. Every time Rocksteady posts something, somebody has to say something smart
Right.
about Suicide Squad or whatever. Um, but it's like, come on, y'all, like just I'm hoping y'all go back. You go back to your roots and y'all give us a high quality game. If it has DLC, I'll buy it somewhere down the line, but I ain't buying that shit first thing. But
Yeah. It's just like, please don't ruin this franchise.
please don't like
Like,
Suicide
please don't.
Squad. Like,
Like
like, like
we're
we
willing to forgive you,
exactly,
but
exactly. Like we're, and it's like I don't want to, and then we're, I'm not trying. I mean, I'm not trying not to be like like when we were doing the hype shit. We had the doubters, which they were right in their mind.
Mhm.
That we had the doubters, but a lot of them, like you said, they feed off negativity. They wanted to be negative about any damn thing when it came to this game or whatever. So it's like that's just them. But I guess now it's like we're just based in reality. We know what we don't want, and I'm just please don't fuck up my franchise. Please don't, because I've been playing Arkham City here lately just to play it, and
Yeah.
uh, I've been on Gotham Knights surprisingly because
So that's the thing. At the end of the day, we play these games so that we can look back on it and be like, so we can go back to Arkham City and be like, oh man, I remember, you have memories. I
yeah,
remember, I was like, oh, this was so great then, and it's still great now. Here's the thing, if they don't add this offline mode, because Suicide Squad, no matter how we felt about it, just is in 10 years. we could go back and not even be able to play it because it's just right now it's just an online only game. That's the problem with the way we're heading. We can't even
Yeah.
really get attached because depending on if a game is successful or not, it may just not be ours. Soon we can't even own it.
Yeah,
We're heading
it's
in a negative direction, you know? It's scary.
and I'm all for digital, but I like to like to have the physical copy of the games because that's why I got a collection. I like to
Yeah,
have the physical
same.
copies of the stuff, and it's just I with the way Suicide Squad is going. I mean, like you said, I don't even think we're not going to get the full, like all the 3 years that they wanted to do. I mean, I've
Nope.
heard rumors about Deathstroke actually possibly going or working with Angus or Argus behind their back or behind the squad's back and killing these other Brainiacs. Which I'm like,
Right.
that would help shorten the story, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I mean, only time will tell with that. But at the same time, yo, like I'm hoping to see. I'm personally just hoping to see Justice League fuck up Brainiac and then it be over. And then y'all just stop. I mean, they have a small team. They have a small team on this game, bro.
That's the thing. Like the thing I want most is that just ensure obviously that because the whole point of killing the whole point of killing Arkham Batman is that all right, we're gonna bring him back anyway.
Right.
So it's like as long as in this game, right? Because you tarnished Arkham Knight's ending, which was ambiguous for a reason.
Yeah.
Where we're like, okay, now he's going to become this creature that in the shadows is still helping. Like Bruce Wayne is no more. Like he's fully encapsulated in Batman. It's so cool. It's perfect, right?
Right.
Very like reminiscent of Dark Knight Rises and all that. It's perfect. So you're ruining this ending. You're ruining this ending because we're like, all right, we're gonna kill him in this game, but it's a joke. Like it's a psych out because we're just bringing him back a few months later. Okay, you want to do
Yeah.
that? That's fine. At the end of the day, Arkham Flash, Arkham Superman. I know this is selfish. I don't care about how they end. Just make sure that this character, which is the one that I'm attached to, has the ending that he deserves that you ruined. So as
Yeah.
so as long as that happens, right?
Yeah,
This game
man.
is forgiven.
I
But just do that.
yeah. I'm and it's like I know like you and Eric and Prince are the only three that I've talked to about suicide or like playing the game. But every time we play it, it's like it's the same shit. We got to just level up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like just the same stuff. So it's like I'll get it done anyway. But it's like when we like not even Prince is like no man I don't even want to play anymore. I'm like I understand. I really do. He's like, I'm just gonna watch the cutscenes, which is what I was going to do with the last episode. But it's like, please, yeah, it's like, I'm just wondering what y'all gonna do with Batman. Honestly, Wonder Woman, I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, yet she's dead.
Huh.
I believe so, but then again, I mean, it's possible that she may come back. I don't know how, but like I remember, and you were the one, I brought up that crap about us possibly playing Justice League at the end, but you're like, I don't see it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't
Because it's
see it
like
now.
I think it's an idea
Yeah,
if the game was successful, but in the world we live in, that ain't happening.
yeah, yeah, and it's like the more we see of the episodes and stuff like that, it's like,
But it's
I
like, and I mean this no offense to them, but it's like they set themselves up for failure with the characters that they like. Listen, yeah,
oh, you talking about like the characters that the like Mrs. Freeze and
like yeah, like with
yeah
the way it's set up for it to go Joker, like choosing obscure characters,
that are
right?
are
The
from
Joker and
a
Deathstroke
yeah
are very well known and it makes sense, right?
yeah
But they chose to do Mrs. Freeze and Deadshot's daughter instead of doing like Killer Frost and like Killer Croc and all these characters that even in the Suicide Squad movie, like characters that make sense. Peacemaker, this and that. Like instead of doing that, we're gonna choose characters that are not known. Suicide Squad characters, and that's how we're gonna market the Suicide Squad game to you. Like
Yeah.
it's like they set themselves up for failure. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh, Sefton Hill wasn't involved. That makes sense. Every
I
time I see the rotation of characters that picked now, and they
and
have the
then
coolest ones saved for later that we'll never see. I'm like, oh, well, it makes sense. They
well,
nobody was involved.
that's the other thing too. Well, what do you think of the Sweet Baby controversy crap, bro?
I mean,
Like it's
here's the thing.
I'm like okay. Like like even from one of the developers on the like that worked on the team, like they said they weren't that heavily involved with the game.
They weren't involved in it. And here's the thing, because when that started versus now, here's the thing that we didn't know. Because everyone's whole thing was like, oh, well, the Sweet Baby thing. The biggest problem is that they killed Arkham Batman, and it's to make women look strong and make Harley look stronger than him and make Harley look like the hero, whatever, this and that. But the thing
Misogynistic.
is that
Yeah.
it was a gag because he was just supposed to come back anyway.
Right.
So it was supposed to be seen as something that is like, oh, you think it's a big deal now, but guess what? We're gonna like he's just gonna be back, like it doesn't matter. But at the time when we didn't know that and everybody was freaking out, that's when that started. They were like, oh, this is a big FU to us, you know? So so you know, the Sweet Baby thing at a point, even though I never agreed with it, made sense why they thought that. But from Rocksteady's point of view, it was a really stupid idea
Yeah.
because they knew that he was just coming back anyway, and it wasn't supposed to be seen like anything like that. It was just supposed to be a gag. So we look at it now and it's like, oh damn, well why didn't you tell us that when the game came out? And this is exactly what I keep talking about with the how everything should have been solved in the base game, so that
Right.
stuff like that wouldn't have happened. But they didn't think ahead.
Man, it's with me and the Sweet Baby stuff. It's like okay, I think people are like over hating for one, and it's like
Yeah,
it's and the fact and it was like other than that, it was like the fact that Sefton and their group of writers wrote this damn story.
mm,
Didn't have anything to do with getting Batman killed and all that shit. So it's like, hell, we got that article that pretty much like show you behind the scenes of like just the toxic positivity. Like that, I mean, they kept pushing for this game to be live service. This is what they wanted. They wanted this
yeah,
game. They wanted to do it. So it's not, and it's like I'm surprised Warner Brothers did not push this, but they wanted it. But then again, Warner Brothers wants live service shit anyway, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So it's like it's whatever. But it's like, bro, like I mean, y'all, it's a lot of people just throwing that Sweet Baby shit out there now because I, if it's something like that involves a woman, they automatically think it's Sweet Baby or a
right,
person of color or whatever. And it's like, okay, a lot of people are showing their misogynistic and racist, racial bullshit right now. So it's like,
yeah,
I mean, it's like you showing your ass, you just don't know it. So uh, I think it's ridiculous. Uh,
yeah.
I mean,
It's
that,
like it causes people to be very toxic and say
oh,
horrible
bro,
things.
and it's
Like
like, yeah,
it's just
that's no excuse to be the
yeah.
way that, like towards
Even
anybody.
if, right?
Yeah.
Right. Even if there was no Batman coming back and it was just Harley killing Batman or whatever, that like it's sad that I even had to say it, but that doesn't give anybody the right to start like taking pictures of members of the team and being like, look at the people they hired to make these games. And like that
Oh my
like
God,
this
bro.
that's inhuman. What is wrong with some of y'all?
Yeah, and it's like a lot of the people that worked on that game or whatever, I mean, I know they've gone through it because people feel like they have the right to just harass,
Exactly. The
harass these,
harassment is so bad.
and that's what that's the downside to social media, bro. Like that's my one of my main issues. Like y'all feel or folks feel like that they need to harass somebody because over a game or a movie or a book. And it's
Yeah.
like, y'all need help because it's not that serious. This is fictional
Nah,
shit. Like,
it's yeah.
man, like, I mean, I've seen that. I've seen the hate when it comes to Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, or like any game. Like people got pissed on how Melina was in Mortal Kombat 1 for some reason. I'm like, why? She's a
Yep.
queen. So, and Katana is her. Like, what is Katana in the game? I forgot. Like, just her.
Technically in the game, or Katana's like a princess, but
Okay,
she's not.
okay.
And Melina's like, yeah, Melina's
So
queen.
it's like, and you got Sindel, who's like, she's
Sindel, yeah,
yeah, she's a queen.
Sindel is, yeah,
So
originally, like in the story it changes, but yeah,
yeah, so it's like I haven't played that damn story in so long. But no, it's just like little stuff like that, or people getting pissed about oh man, like okay, oh Assassin's Creed, like Shadows. They got pissed
Mhm.
over the whole thing with the black samurai, and it's like
Right.
okay, like that's actual history. Why are y'all fucking tripping? I
Mhm.
mean,
It's like people, and yeah, unfortunately, Twitter is the biggest
eh,
like proprietor of all of
it
this,
does not
but
help.
it's like,
Yeah.
it does not help. Obviously, the person running Twitter
I
has
will
said
not
that
say that
his
fucking name. Fuck that dude.
I will not say that name, but the person running Twitter has said that they're gonna kill the woke mind virus.
Well, I mean,
Obviously, so he encourages this type of harassment and behavior, right?
yeah,
And it's really sad because it leads to people like this or games like this not being able to do anything out of the normality, because here come the people who, as soon as they see a person of color or a female, immediately go, "This is woke. I'm not playing this." Like Outlaws.
yeah.
I've
Oh,
seen
bro.
videos of I've seen videos of there's this popular, anti woke guy named Geeks and Gamers,
Oh,
right?
man, fuck them.
And
Yeah,
and
yeah.
one of his things with Outlaws is somebody on his podcast said, "Have you seen this game, Star Wars Outlaws?" And he goes, "I don't know what that is." So we showed him a picture of the cover, and he goes, "Okay, I see this black or person of color female, so I'm already kind of not interested." And I'm like, dude,
Wow.
you can't say stuff like that. Like,
No, they
nobody in
don't.
the
And I,
nobody in the real world talks like that. But we unfortunately are on an app and a platform where the leader encourages that type of behavior,
right.
and you have to just sit and take it. It's horrible.
And they're one of the worst about that I've seen because I remember when G4 had came back, that whole controversy with the woman who kind of had a rant or something like that. They had went off about that and said some misogynistic bullshit on there, and it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the, I mean, man, we going on. I'm not, I like okay, like people that know me, hell, like I have biracial kids. I'm married to a white woman,
Hmm.
so that has never like with my family. That has never been an issue as far as that kind of crap. And
Yeah.
and I have friends that are gay or trans or whatever. That's never been an issue for me
Hmm.
because to be honest with folks, a lot of gay people are better than straight people.
Right.
Because
Like,
they're more friendly than
but
just people.
like what really sucks about all of it is that this is stuff we learned as kids. Like
Right.
we know that. We
Right.
know that.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly Twitter is turned into somewhere where it's so childish that you can be given your opinion on a game. And this it didn't used to be like this, because if you used to say stuff like this, you would be punished, your account would be suspended, and things would change. But now, obviously, because there are parts of the world that don't view, black people of color, but black men or women, like obviously me and you,
Yeah.
the same as them, right?
Yeah. Right.
And Twitter used to be a safe space for us where we could come and talk whatever we want and not have to worry about being attacked or whatever just because we say something. But we live in a time now where that I can go and say, "Hey, this game sucks," and some guy from Australia will go, "Hey, you're the N-word," and nothing will
Yeah,
happen.
I had to deal with
You
that.
know?
Yeah, I deal with that. A couple weeks ago, somebody called me the N word, and I was like, is that really all that you got? Like, I mean,
It
with
has
with
nothing to
me
do with
is
what I'm talking about.
yeah, and it's like is I mean, I mean, me and you. I mean, I've dealt with racists before. Hell, I live in Texas. That says enough.
Right.
So it's, I mean, it's like whenever the guy called me the N word, it was like, okay, like I don't like. It's like it don't really affect me because I don't know you.
Yeah, it's just like it's childish,
Yeah, that's how I
and
was
we're
like.
just like, all right,
It's like is that also like I put my opinion out there, and he comes back at it, and I'm like, well, that's just a stupid assumption or whatever. And then he calls me the N word. I'm like, out of the blue, I'm like, really? Just you have nothing in your arsenal? I mean, there's nothing else in there. Like you have nothing else to say. I'm like, just that. I said, and then he starts
right,
posting like some really racist photos, and it's like I said, wow, you have those saved in your phone. That's sad. Wow, that's really bad. Like
it's
shit
so
like that, bro. Like it doesn't affect me as much. I mean, if it's somebody I know that would say it, then yeah, that's something else. But it's like I y'all ain't gonna make me come out of my character and go all nuts and shit. Nah.
yeah,
Like
it's so like
what does Chappelle say? Twitter is not a real place.
yeah, yeah. Twitter, or even LeBron said once, at the end of the day, it's just Twitter.
Right, right,
So
exactly,
it's like,
bro.
yeah, like, you know,
I,
it's like stuff like that. But the problem with it, because I want to relate it back to just everything we're talking about.
right,
The biggest problem with it in the gaming industry is that now Twitter has given people blue check marks where you get more views. Like blue check marks used to be saved for verified accounts who know what they're talking about and are important people to something.
right.
But now you can be a random idiot who has no thoughts on anything and get a blue check mark if you pay them the right amount of money.
Yeah.
So if certain YouTubers like Geeks and Gamers and people like this who are like pretty much like hidden Nazis who hate all people,
Oh wow.
these people can say whatever they want, right?
Right.
And get a large amount, like a large, they can be followed just for spreading hate. And you can build accounts and channels based off of hate. We live in a much different world than we did in 2011. And in terms of gaming, you cannot make like it's very hard to make a story that is different in any sort of way
Right.
because as soon as people see something that they believe is woke, they start their narrative and they can go on their Twitter and say this and that about the game and get 3 million views or 4 million views, no matter if what they said is true, false, this or that, and get the whole world to turn on your game.
Right.
It's
Man.
very, very worrying and it's limiting. And for example, for Rocksteady, a lot of that is what hurt Suicide Squad. People believe like obviously there were for Pride Month there were so many cosmetics based on uh gay flags, trans flags, whatever, and obviously it was like all right, great, but people on Twitter, right, turned that into like this is why the game failed or this and that like a million different other things to attack like there's a million things that could be said but instead you focus on them trying to help and provide representation for people
Mm-hmm.
in real life but you choose to attack that instead of the servers or this and that or the story or what actually matters and it's so hard because I'm like dang they're just gonna suck the life out of Rocksteady.
Right.
They don't care about what's actually in the game. They care about what you do behind the scenes or what you support. Like the gaming is just so much less like there's so much there's no heart in these games nowadays and you can see why. It's because anytime you try to do something different, you just get attacked for it. It sucks.
Bro, it's well, you can definitely tell we're in different times now, but it's like why are we going backwards?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it don't make no sense for any of the fucking negative uh just just people lashing out against people because it's not in their perception of what it should be or whatever, and it's like you need to chill out or take a break, as they say,
Yeah,
touch grass, as they say. But
touch
it's
grass.
but it's I don't I'm that's like the boys like my kids, no social media, neither one of them.
Yeah,
Especially because I have two teenagers, and it's like I don't want y'all on there unless you have a need a YouTube account or whatever. My kid actually, going back to that, my kid has had that experience. My 15-year-old kid on a YouTube account. Some like he was asking a YouTube account for some genuine help on a game called Trains or something like that.
hmm
And he, I guess he asked this question, and the guy came back at him in a negative way for no freaking reason, saying that the
yeah,
question was dumb and everything like that. And I had comments saying, okay, first of all, you need to take it easy. My child is autistic. He does not understand. He's just needing help. Instead of being an
hmm
asshole, you need to correct that fucking attitude and help him with this with the question that he had. But at the same, it's like I told my son, it's like what, let's just find somebody else to help you with this because this sob doesn't care, and I don't even see how he had subscribers. But it's I'm not like I worry for not only my kids' future, hell, bro, yours too. You're in college, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So it's like we've seen the ugly side of life when it comes to these fucking people. But it's like
yeah,
uh, the thing about it is like we don't know all these people going, saying all this bad stuff towards us, and it's like okay, they must have a really bad life. But at the same time, you ain't gotta say that shit to me. So it's like,
yeah.
but it's like yeah, just bro, like I don't. What was that? There was a game like that came out this year, and it was like an African uh based on African life or something like that, and it was a side
Mm.
scroller game. Um, it had got released in like May, and
I'm trying to think.
I know what it. I cannot remember the name of that game.
Like, cause I was gonna bring this up too, but like, for example, to Mortal Kombat itself, right,
Right,
was another victim of like what's going on because basically, or the characters Cyrax and Sector, cause are now like
oh yeah,
females,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And they're coming. But the explanation for in game is that they come from an alternate timeline
Right,
than the regular Cyrax and Sector, right? And people turn this into hell, right? Mortal Kombat is woke, the franchise is destroyed, this and that. Like, if this happens in 2011, nobody cares. Nobody nobody cares. Nobody says a word, you know.
I
But in
did
today's
see
time,
that, bro. I did see. I've seen somebody do a complete turn. They were excited
yeah,
for Cyrex because Cyrex is their favorite Mortal Kombat character, and then the reveal happened. They showed it's a woman. He's like, "What? Like,
mhm.
why? Why?" I'm like, "Bruh, like, Cyrex
It's
is."
not the same Cyrex.
And it's
Like,
like, yeah,
there's explanations for everything. It's
Cyrex
like
gonna
you don't,
kill.
like there's no reason to, especially like there's no reason to hate, you know?
Right?
Because at the end of the day, if it provides more representation, right? Why be mad? Just like cool. And if you
Yeah.
don't want to play it that bad, don't play it,
Don't.
bro.
That's the
But like
thing though too.
don't hate on the people creating it.
It's like if
That's a horrible
it's
thing to
like
do.
with TV or whatever. If you don't like what the hell you're watching, turn it off. Change the channel.
Exactly.
So that's the same thing with the game. Don't buy it if you, bro. That's boy. Suicide Squad had a bunch of that shit. Like people complaining about the game before it come out, and it's like okay, if you don't want to buy it, then don't buy it. Then the
Yeah.
same people that were complaining bought the game just so they could bitch some more.
Maybe you can
Yeah.
circle their balls with stuff.
So it's
What about the
like
blue topic?
what
Hello. So there's something
what in the
interesting.
hell? It's like yeah, but it trips me out like how people their psyches are these days when it comes to this. When it comes to just the gaming, it's like, okay, y'all might need to take a step back for real. But
Hmm.
man, oh man, yeah. But yeah, like I have like, oh, as far as my score for Suicide Squad, it is a 3 out of 5, and because I give so much love to that art team of that game, because
Yeah.
regardless of how we feel about the missions and stuff like that, the game is beautiful.
Hmm.
And
And like on first playthrough, the,
yeah,
the the story itself, while short, is fun. It's a good time, and there's enough good stuff for it to be like a decent game. Flash has some great moments.
oh yeah, yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, Flash has some great moments. Like Batman and Superman. There's a great scene with Superman and Wonder Woman. A great fight there. Waller has some great moments. And the squad themselves, like there's a lot of character in Captain Boomerang and King Shark and obviously Harley. Like the opening scene is great. There's great stuff. There's rocks. It feels rock steady,
Yeah, and
and like that's why it just sucks that the end game is separated from the base story because it feels like there's a disconnect. you
yeah,
know.
yeah, and
And I
that
just really just wish that it wasn't live service and all of it was just one game with a story because
because
that's what they excel at. If they had been able to make that game, I think we sit here telling a much different story.
yeah, and I would have. Well, that and that's the crazy thing because I still listen to the soundtrack. I love the music on there. Like
Yeah.
I listen to it on Spotify, and I listen to that the Batman Experience in the Batcave of Horrors, and the Flash Mob song on there. It was like,
Yeah.
because the same guy that did the Batman Arkham games, or the three that Rocksteady did, he did some music on this game, which is the
Mhm.
better sounding ones anyway. But I'm like, if I was like, please bring that music back to the next Arkham game.
Yeah.
Please, because Arkham City is always on rotation. So
That's what I'm
it's
saying. Yeah.
so
Everything that comes from those games sticks with us in some way today. And that's why you know,
oh
we
yeah,
need like from Rocksteady, whatever their next project is, you know, uh
this
if there's anything that we can hope for, it's that they learn from this, both positives and negatives, because they can't think it was all negatives.
right.
They have to learn from the positives and the negatives. And with this new Batman game, just make something because the single player, they know what they're good at. Just make a great game.
I'm
They
also
need to make a great game. This
yeah.
is that. This is their last chance.
Yeah, like this, like because before this game came out, like I was hoping, I was like, okay, maybe they can learn from what Avengers did wrong,
Yeah.
and I was hoping that they would see that, because I mean the look already had me. I was like, okay, it looks great and everything like that, and then we get the game and it's like, oh, okay, well, but I'm hoping other developers see this game and what not to do, and what they should try, or whatever, with their next game, because I'm still very hopeful, and you know this more than anybody. I want my damn Ninja Turtle game.
Yeah.
I want my, like, it don't have to be a big open world Ninja Turtle game, but I want something like that, because that's the thing about Suicide Squad. Aside from the connections, to the fact to play this with 3 other people is fun when it
Mhm.
works. When it works, it is fun. And I'm like, if we could get us a Ninja Turtle game where it is online multiplayer, uh, it could work. And you got some great influences or some great inspirations out there with the Arkham games and the Spider-Man games. So it's like, uh, man, like I've been, that's what I've been hoping for. I was like, I was hoping this game would be successful, so then maybe we could have an Ninja Turtle game where it's like that, but without the live service shit. Um,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, I'm like, I mean, it's not all bad with Suicide Squad. I mean, I love the art direction. I do like. There'll be times where I used to just go around and just go around the city, just look at it,
Yeah.
cause
Yeah.
uh, cause it's. I mean, it's. I mean, I'm surprised we haven't got an Easter egg video or anything like that from Arkham Videos. But I mean, it's like, yeah, man, like I want to
Yeah.
see
I,
everything.
I I think that's the thing. Like with this, cause like with this next game, cause like obviously Suicide Squad at this point it's just a skeleton crew.
Yeah.
Like the people who are left there are just rolling out the rest of the game.
Right.
The social media team is completely inactive, right? And here's the thing: even though people blame them for that often,
Hmm.
what I've always thought is that they're used to making games where the game comes out, you enjoy it, and that's it. They're not used to having a social media thing going on with their games where they have to communicate with you every week about what they're doing. They've
Right.
made 4 games where you just put it out and you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. And you just play it and that's it. There's a DLC, that's it. But they're not used to live service games, which is why the communication was so bad.
Yeah.
That's why they're going back to formula again. So they just need to make a game, and it's big pressure, but they need to make a game that's as perfect as Arkham Knight. They need because they're choosing to make a Batman game,
And
right?
they
And we
and
know it's gonna be an Arkham game. We know that.
and they
So it
can.
needs to be. Mhm.
I was gonna say, and that, I mean, Warner Brothers. I will say this again, has said that they will work with other developers to do other DC characters. They better stick to that. Um, but what were you saying a while ago?
Yeah. So I think it's very, very important that this game, in every sense, is like damn near perfect. It needs to be incredible, because the first thing people do when the game comes out is compare it to the last game. And imagine your comparison being Arkham Knight.
Mm-hmm.
You need to make a perfect game. Their last game was Arkham Knight. So as soon as it comes out, when people do, okay, how does this compare to Arkham Knight? Everything needs to be perfect. Graphics, gameplay, villains, stories, suits. It needs to be amazing because Arkham Knight is something that is so, like, it's so perfect. That game, besides the story, is so perfect in every way. Almost any game will pale in comparison, which is why it's the end, or supposed to be the end of the series.
Right.
So Rocksteady needs to step it up and like make a perfect game.
Reg-
Otherwise, they're gonna get
regardless,
torn to shreds. This
regardless
is their
if you
last
have,
chance.
regardless if they have the original team or not, they
Right.
need to knock this out of the park because
Yeah.
a lot of people are not gonna give them another chance after this shit.
Yeah.
If it's
This is it.
bad, yeah, like
If it's bad.
if it's bad, then people are not gonna give it a chance.
Yeah.
Um,
Like even the people right now saying they'll never buy a Rocksteady game again. As soon as they see that it's Arkham and they see the first trailer, they're gonna cave. They're gonna cave. In Suicide Squad, it made sense that they didn't, right? Because it's D-list to C-list characters.
right.
The Suicide Squad isn't that popular.
Hmm.
There's things, but they're not gonna be able to resist Batman.
Yeah, like, I mean,
So
and
as long, Mhm.
I'm just hoping. Oh man, like, man, like we've said it before, man. Like, where are they gonna take this story? That is my main concern. That's it, really.
Oof.
That is
Yeah,
that is my main concern. Is this just the story?
yeah, the stories.
It's like,
Ugh.
all right, who are we gonna have help us clean up this shit? Here we go.
Yeah, it's just like there's so like I don't even know where to start. Are you supposed to start after Suicide Squad?
Like,
Are you supposed to start after Arkham Shadows? What are we doing? Just I don't know what we're doing.
yeah,
A Batman Beyond game? Like
it could be.
I
I
don't,
mean,
there's so many options,
I mean,
but
I mean, well,
ugh,
they couldn't do that one. Now the Damian Wayne one.
exactly. That was canceled.
Yeah, that
So
was canceled.
are we picking up something with scraps or ideas of that? What are we doing? I really
Oh
haven't.
man.
I'm very intrigued, but I'm also very worried.
We're gonna be there for a while because that game. I mean, we won't see nothing of that for
For a while,
another
a
a
long,
what?
long, long years,
Yeah.
2 years
Oh
probably.
shit, we got that state of play today.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, is that
that's going on too.
yeah, so I have to watch that later. But I mean, like, Yeah, man. Like, I mean, we're not gonna get that for a while. I mean, that's the crazy thing about game development cycles now. It used to be every 2 years or whatever. Now that shit's at least 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
So yeah, we're not getting that shit for a long time. So I mean, uh, and now that they have that skeleton crew working on Suicide Squad, they're probably have already started work on their other game or whatever they're doing. So we're not even sure if it is a freaking Batman game, but hopefully whatever they're doing, they knock it out of the park.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know where the smart money would be here, aside from what character to do. Maybe Batman actually is the character, but boy, y'all better knock this shit out the park. I already have all of your games in my damn collection, so
yeah. I
man,
think we all know that this is the last chance, and uh, obviously both of us as Arkham fans, we're hopeful, we're worried, but at the end of the day, we're hopeful
yeah,
because despite the misfire, right, you've given us four of the greatest superhero games of all time. We're gonna look at it and we're gonna be like, all right, there's so much going on, but we trust you. We
mm,
trust you because we know you've delivered before when you're in your element, and this is them going back to it. So this is
yeah.
the final chance. If you can make a great single player Batman game, all is forgiven.
Oh,
All is forgiven.
I was gonna say one other thing before I stop this damn video.
Yeah.
There is a okay. Sefton and Jamie have their development company called 100 Star Games. I
Hmm.
have that. There's that LinkedIn website, like it's a job site or whatever. Uh, a lot of former Rocksteady members or employees are now at that damn development studio. I've
Yeah.
noticed. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, I don't like y'all right now necessarily, but it's like I'm intrigued because y'all have a lot of your old employees over there with you.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are y'all doing? And I'm thinking it's an Xbox exclusive. So I'm like, what are y'all doing? I am curious about that. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. What are you doing? Come here. Give me some love. How was school? Uh, um, but yeah, man. Like I'm somewhat intrigued by that. I'm still pissed at them. That's the thing about it. Still pissed at them because they left their employees high and dry, like they were
Yeah.
nothing. But I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm intrigued to see what they're doing too. Uh,
Daddy,
but
what's this?
what's what? I don't know what that is, son.
It's Earth.
Um, well, if it's Earth, take Earth. But yeah, man. Like, I'm glad we. I think we need to do this a little bit more often.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta
I
find us some topics.
yeah. I think it's really like important to have discussions like this because there's so much going on and like with just Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
there's so much going on every like this or that. So I think it's good to kind of have these like discussions because internally they're a mess. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah,
Like
bro.
they are themselves so unsure
Well,
on just what's going on all the time that it's like, as fans, we're like,
I think
oh,
that's like
hmm,
with I mean, like with the DCU with them doing the Superman movie and James Gunn
right.
is in
It's not just video games.
yeah, so it's like James Gunn is in charge of DC Studios and he has the talks with the developers for the games and stuff like that. I don't like James Gunn has done no wrong with me as far as his movies are concerned, really. Um,
Yeah.
so it's like uh, he's a gamer himself, so he I'm hoping he's talking with these developers and seeing what their ideas are, and hopefully they're good ideas. I'm just you know DC was on top of the world with these Arkham games, and then this shit happened.
Hmm. Right.
So I'm very jealous of Marvel right now because we're getting that Iron Man game.
getting a Wolverine game from
Wolverine
Insomniac,
game. Oh
which
boy,
would be
that's
huge.
that shit.
It's just
Oh
like,
man.
let's get back to where the movies and the games meant something.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Arkham was happening, so was Christian Bale's Dark Knight trilogy. You know,
Right.
like these
Right.
fans were getting fat off of how much they were getting fed.
Mm-hmm.
So we would like the same thing, please.
Yeah, yeah. We're.
Like,
I think what that's the point now too is like we're getting spoiled. We have gotten spoiled
yeah,
over the years, and it's like we expect this or that, and it's like okay. But
yeah,
man, I'm hope. I mean, because I love Marvel. I mean, me and you both agree. Marvel's Spider-Man, the first game was far superior. I two is great. It's just the story, but I mean I haven't even really beaten Miles Morales, bro.
yeah,
I haven't really beat that, but it's like I I know we got that Captain America Black Panther game. Hell, we got a Black Panther solo game coming, bro.
yeah,
Like, um, and if I remember correctly, the same people that made Star Wars Outlaws is actually the ones working on the Iron Man game.
yeah,
So, shoot, man. I mean, out of those games that we just mentioned, I'm really hyped for Wolverine, honestly,
yeah. It's gonna be great.
because that's gonna be live, and then like I don't know, we ain't really heard anything else on DC games except nothing even on Wonder Woman, not really.
Yeah,
So
yeah. The Wonder Woman game, which of course I'm worried for because it's gone through a million delays. But
delays and not a damn word about it, and since the reveal of the trailer. I can't remember when that trailer had came out.
yeah, man,
Yeah,
it's been
so
it's a while. So with that, and obviously, we're getting a new Batman game, Arkham Shadow coming this fall. Like, let's just hope we can get back on track, DC wise,
DC,
movies and games.
fix your stuff. God dang it!
Like the Batman was great and it was successful, and that's getting a sequel. And the Penguin show, I don't know if you've seen it yet. The first episode was great.
Oh man,
That's that's
ah,
the only that's the only solid thing that DC has going right now is the Batman universe.
man. And the fact that that's not going to be part of the DCU, that's the Elseworld.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
and I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not really hyped for the Joker movie. I mean, Gaga, sure.
I mean, this hurts me because the first Joker
Yeah,
I loved, and this one I don't. I feel nothing. I feel nothing watching all the trailers and everything. Something just doesn't feel because I personally think that not everything needs a sequel,
that
and
is
I think
that
the
is
Joker
that
movie.
is the concept that I had. Like, and whenever they announced, it, I was like, why?
Yeah, I was like, dude, this story started and ended in that movie.
Yeah, it
That
didn't. It
there's,
does not need a sequel.
but that's the problem. Even when we're successful, even when Warner Brothers and DC is successful, and you make a successful Joker movie, right?
Hmm.
You make something successful, you can't let things be. That happens, and you're like, oh, okay, it made $1 billion. Like, hey, it doesn't need a sequel. We don't care. It made $1 billion. Here's the sequel, no matter what happens. Now
Such.
you risk a flop. You risk things. Why risk? The Arkham series ended. Oh, guess what? We're working on another game. What? Does anything end?
Yeah, that's the.
Do you ever do new stuff?
I was
Like,
gonna say,
this
bro.
is
Like, that's the movie industry in general, too. Like,
right. It's
all
just
we
like
get is
movie.
remakes, reboots, and sequels. We don't get. I mean, we get very few original like movies these days, or
Yeah.
games for that
It's
matter.
it's
So
just like movie and games wise, create different stories. But the stories that end, let them end. Let Arkham end.
yeah, like
let let Arkham end. Let you know, like there's just
Mass
these
Effect.
things should have yeah,
Hmm.
these things should have beginnings and ends, you know? It sucks that cuz like you just risk flops and wasting money. Like Joker 2, I mean we well, listen, it's not going to do as well as the first movie. We know that. I pray that it doesn't flop because guess what? This time they give them 4 times the budget. So if it flops,
That's on
Now
them. Yeah.
we don't look back at Joker as a good thing. Now we look back at it as, oh damn, remember what happened with the sequel? You know, like I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah, I didn't see it get a very particularly high rating. It was like a 53% on
Exactly.
Rotten
It got
Tomatoes.
a 60 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's worrying. It's very worrying because
So
you know,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, bro. Like the only reason, I mean, I'm not going to like go to the theaters and rush to see it. I actually want to see what Gaga does with Harley. But
yeah,
other than that, like I'm done. I had like that. It didn't need a sequel at all. It
yeah. There's nothing else for the Joker to do because guess what? Maybe this doesn't make sense to Warner Brothers, but he doesn't have a Batman.
Yeah, that
So
was the other thing.
it's supposed to be a one and done.
Yeah,
Stories like that, stories like that don't are not supposed to have sequels. It's a standalone story about a villain. You know, the reason why there's no sequel is because there's no Batman for him to fight. There's nothing else for him to do. The story was made and told without a sequel in mind. So when
yeah,
they force them to make sequels, when Warner Brothers forces DC to make sequels, that's how we get things like Joker 2, which is like, I'm not saying it's gonna be bad, but so far, with reviews and everything, it's looking like it should have not been made.
yeah. I mean,
Oh,
mm, I'm like I do not need another Joker movie at all.
yeah,
Like I
it's
personally need y'all to like just make like right now horror is having its best year right now
yeah.
because we are getting
Alien was great.
oh bro like we're getting like I know we're getting like like I saw that Michael B. Jordan trailer this morning. Uh, it's a vampire movie he's got coming with him and
I heard about this. Yeah,
Ryan Coogler. They have that vampire movie. I was like, okay, that looks good, and it's an original freaking concept. So there should be no reason people should not go see that. Like that's, and I think I don't know if I think it's a project that both Ryan and Michael had wrote. So I mean, I'm all for it. So, but I mean, like Alien was good. What was that other one I saw this year? Long Legs. Oh, like
mm.
I mean, my wife isn't really big on Nicolas Cage, but I love him.
Yeah, same.
He tripped the hell out in that damn movie. But it's I mean yeah, bro. Like I mean we need some. I mean I love comic book movies, but now they're getting to the point where it's eh, like I'm not even hyped for Thunderbolts. That's saying something.
Yeah. I
Super.
didn't. I saw the trailer. I was like, eh.
That yeah, I was sitting. I was
Like
like, no. This. What is this? I was like, no. I don't.
that's the thing. I'm like, at least Marvel can still print money. You know, like
Right.
I wish DC could make bad movies that make money, but but sadly, for the last few years, they make bad movies that make no money. So
Yeah.
that's where the issue lies. If they can pick it up in one department or another, in either in games or movies, I'll be happy. Because if at least if movies are doing well, hopefully the right studio can make a great game. But if games are doing well and movies are not, nothing really changes because obviously the movies are 10 times more expensive. So
Oh yeah, bro.
it's tough. It's tough.
It's very tough, man. Like,
But yeah.
well, let me stop recording this because I know this is how long is this damn stream? Hey,
That's probably so long. We had so much to talk about.
you leaving me, mama?